This hour, we're going to begin with a big upset in the most expensive congressional primary in American history. In New York's Democratic primary, incumbent progressive Congressman Jamaal Bowman lost to Westchester County Executive George Latimer. It is a race that highlighted the party's deep divide over Israel. And it was a tough night for Trump-endorsed candidates in South Carolina, in Colorado, and in Utah, as the former president's picks fell short in their high-profile races. So, for more analysis of the results, we are joined by Scott MacFarlane, who is here in Studio 57 with us. Normally, you are in the nation's capital, but it's really good to have you here. So let's start with this incredibly expensive race in New York. You've got Bowman, who got into office by upsetting the apple cart, and now his position has been upset. Tell us how this happened.
It's always an upset when an incumbent loses a primary. That happens just a handful of times each election. That being said, Anne-Marie, this wasn't a gallivanting shock for the people who were on the ground in this race. George Latimer has a lot of name recognition in this district. He's the county executive, and he had the institutional support, so many of the endorsements, and so much of that money. $25 million is like monopoly money. That is crazy for a congressional primary. So much of it was outsized money. Political action committees aligned with Jewish American interests, and Jamaal Bowman has been among the most outspoken critics of Israel's war in Gaza and Benjamin Netanyahu. George Latimer won this thing running away. And there's a deeper, I think, more fundamental set of messages voters and political watchers can take from this. First of all, this is a bit of a run toward the middle. I mean, George Latimer may be characterized as a moderate, Jamaal Bowman characterized as a progressive. Voters vote. They seem to, at times, want to choose the more moderate, electable candidate. We saw that in the Republican primaries, we'll discuss in a moment, in other states. But the other message is, does this have a chilling effect on other Democrats who've been critical of Israel? Because the outside money may have wanted to send a message that if you criticize Israel so vociferously, we're going to fund your opponent. That message might resonate with other Democrats.
Yeah, because the thing about Bowman is that he was a very early critic of Israel. Certainly some other Democrats may have come around and now are a little more critical of Israel. But I think shortly after October 7th, he was talking about sort of scaling back the invasion. And clearly that he perhaps may have paid a little bit for that. Let's talk about Lauren Boebert. So she wins, right, in this primary, but she had to do a little maneuvering to ensure that win.
She's been accused in this case of being an opportunist, but opportunity knocked, and she succeeded because of it. She faced one of the fiercest re-election battles in 2022. One of the smallest victories and one of the highest pieces of drama was her victory over a deeply resourced Democrat. So rather than race against him again, she decided to seek the nomination in a more rural part of Colorado that is more deeply red. She ran against several people, and she succeeded in winning this nomination, even though she was accused of being a carpetbagger. She won it by a good amount and now is overwhelmingly favored to win the seat in a rural part of Colorado in November. Being an opportunist didn't seem to cost her in this race.
It did not. And her messaging, was it sort of similar? I mean, she's kind of known as she's a MAGA Republican. And did she stay true to that messaging?
She is not known for being subtle. She is a blunt force trauma type of Republican conservative, and she didn't hide from that. She, in fact, uses that effectively when you're in a primary where you want to get those base voters to galvanize behind you. This wasn't even a close contest, and it will not be a close contest in November. She has managed 2 years later to escape a tight race for an easy one.
We can't even get into some of the other races, but, you know, in some of the other races, we saw Trump-backed candidates lose to more moderate Republican candidates. If this is any indication of what's to come, it's going to be a very interesting journey over the next few months. Scott, thank you so much.
Thank you.